Ye shall not rob from the house I have built, or commit any theft or unrighteousness, lest ye be struck down and driven into the earth forthwith, and the land of the heathen consume you. The Book of the Stone. So excited. Listen to that. Woe be to him that defies the tree, for he shall be cast out into the world through the veils of pain. Couldn't read the rest. Yeah. What the fuck is that? Oh yeah. Thief Gold. Welcome to me playing Thief Gold. This game, man, this fucking game. I don't even know what to say. I'm a huge fan of this game. It's one of my favorite games ever, period. And I hope you will find out why. I don't even want to mention very much about it at the beginning. I think it's best if I'll let the game speak for itself. All I'm gonna say is one of the reasons I love it is, apart from the story actually being quite interesting, it has an amazing atmosphere and sound design. It is, even though the graphics are not the best anymore by today's standards, they, in my opinion, they still work. They still hold up. They have a simplicity that is still good enough to get your imagination fill in the rest. And then there's the outstanding sound design and just the world that they created here with its fractions and all its mystery and creepiness. It's just amazing. So I'm just gonna jump right in. I'm going to skip the training because it's just a tutorial that's probably going to be boring, and I don't want the first episode to be boring. I am going to start it nonetheless, just because it has a cutscene that you should see, and then I'm going to quit and continue with the real first mission. The essence of balance is detachment. To embrace a cause, to grow fond or spiteful, is to lose one's balance, after which no action can be trusted. Our burden is not for the dependent of spirit. Manor, third keeper.
I was a kid. No parents, no home. Running messages and picking pockets to keep my ribs from meeting my spine. One night I saw a man. Folks just passed him by like he wasn't there. I thought he must have something valuable, so I snuck up on him and made a grab.
That's not for you.
Please, sir, I'm hungry. Don't tell the Hammers, I promise.
What is your name, boy?
Garrett.
You have talent, lad.
Let go of me, old man!
To see a keeper is not an easy thing, especially one who does not wish to be seen. We have a need for those as gifted as yourself. If you've grown tired of how you live, then follow me, and we will show you a different way.
Leave me alone!
As you wish.
I caught up with him just before he vanished into the crowd. It was the beginning of a very long education.
So, yeah, just quickly going to show you one other thing before I cancel the tutorial. Just this room.
Young Garrett. In the nearby rooms, I will instruct you in the various skills you will need to survive. Please stay in the entrance area to each room.
And that's enough. Why did I do that? Because I want to play Thief 2 and Thief 3 as well. And in Thief 3, which actually has better graphics, different graphics, this room returns. You go back to, maybe not exactly this room, but a room like that. So one day in, I don't know, 10,000 years, when I finally play Thief 3 and reach that part, I'm going to remind you of this video right now. And that's it. I'm going to skip training now. One final thing to mention, as you could see in the cutscene, this is kind of a Middle Ages kind of setting, but it is not set in our world. It's the menu already hints at that. It also has a lot of steampunk elements and fantasy, which I didn't know back then. I thought it was just you just play a thief in the Middle Ages. I really like that idea, which is why the game got my attention, but then I found out that it's even more than that, but you'll see for yourself. So yeah, we saw that Garrett was a boy who stole from other people to survive. I guess he had no parents anymore. We don't know that much about his past. And he tried to steal from a person that that apparently belonged to the keepers, and that was, according to themselves, they were supposed to not be seen by anybody. But that means that Garrett has some talent for the stuff that the keepers do. So they trained him in their arts of stealthiness and staying in the shadows. However, at the end of the training, young Garrett mentions that he had other plans, and apparently he left the keepers and instead is now using all the things that they taught him over the years. He's just using that to be a thief instead. And him leaving is also what this cutscene now alludes to. This is one of the keepers. At least that's how I understand it. Who probably just wrote this text that will now appear. The most promising acolyte left us, not out of the lesser folly of sentiment, but the greater folly of anger. His heart was clouded and his balance was lost, but his abilities were unmatched. Even then we knew to watch him most carefully. Keeper Annals.
I have a simple job planned for this evening. Break into a guarded mansion, steal another fat nobleman's priceless trinket, and leave quietly. Lord Bafford is out of town, and rumor has it that the captain of his house guard went with him as a bodyguard. The time is ripe for a bit of burglary. The front gate of Lord Bafford's manor is always guarded, and the main street is far too exposed. But Cuddy tells me there's a better way in, around to the side, more out of the way.
Listen
One
to that
guard,
sound.
and likely no witnesses to complicate matters. The piece Cuddy wants is a scepter, silver, jewels, the usual adornments. It should command a high price. Bafford, like most of his kind, probably keeps his treasures on the top floor of the place, close to his heart, and far from his servants. No point in waiting. I have Cuddy's old sketches of the place, and everyone who's going to be asleep inside already is. It's time to begin.
So, here's the objective screen. You can change the difficulty here anytime. Well, not during the mission, but before the mission. Depending on the difficulty, you have various objectives. On normal, it's just sneak into Lord Bafford's manor and case the place. The well house and back is your best bet if you can get the key from the guard. Blackjacking or pickpocketing him would be quietest. Find Lord Bafford's prized jewel scepter and redistribute it to yourself. Try to do it without causing too much commotion. That's normal. On hard, you also have, in addition to pinching the scepter, steal 350 worth of valuables while you're in the manor. Don't kill any of the servants, they're harmless. Once you've achieved your other objectives, get out of the manor house and back to the city streets. That's interesting, I find, because on normal you don't even have to get out. You just have to steal the scepter and then it's over. On hard, you already have to also escape. And on expert, it's not steal 350, but now you have to steal 700 worth of valuables, and you don't kill anyone while you do the job. No servants, no guards, no pets, no one. And again, you have to get outside. Usually I'm going to play on expert, except for missions where I don't want to drag them on for too long. This one, I should be able to do it in expert, no problem. After the objectives, you also can buy equipment. I'm just gonna buy 4 water arrows because that's mainly what I need. You can extinguish torches with them, which is awesome for being stealthy. Broadhead arrows are if you want to shoot people, which I'm not gonna do. Healing potion is also mainly just useful when you get into a lot of fights, which I'm not gonna do. My starting gear is my sword, my blackjack, 1 healing potion, water arrows, and broadhead arrows. And yeah, let's go. Now this is already a nice example of what I mean by the atmosphere of the game that personally I like. Of course, maybe other people hate this kind of atmosphere, but I'm a big fan of this kind of dark atmosphere, like dark streets at night with the wind in the background and the moon is out, and like you can hear people inside the houses. Maybe somebody's still awake having a drink with other friends, or maybe it's a tavern, who knows. I don't know, just this kind of nighttime atmosphere is something I really like about this game. And you get a lot of that because you're a thief, so you're mainly active during the night. There's gonna be a small conversation
We're
here.
going to the bear pits tomorrow. You want to come with? Couldn't pay me enough. What? You soft belly. The bears have got these new muzzles with underslung cheek spikes. Last time I was there was a real eye gouging. Nah. It makes me sick. When I was a kid. Huh. Surprised you're even in this job.
Ooh, the blood, it just turns my poor tummy.
Shut up, you taffer. You want blood? You should
A
have
few
been
too
there
many
years
to
ago.
try to get by here.
The bears then. They were something to see. Those bears, they didn't need no cheek spikes and razor collars and paw hooks and all that knifery you straps to them now. No paw hooks? What'd they do? Just bump into each other? Huh? Nah. The bears back then, they had claws
Nah.
and wicked teeth.
I'm gonna continue now if you want to hear the whole conversation. It's quite funny. If you want to hear it completely, play the game yourself. I don't want to bore you with it. But yeah, so that showed you that the game also has some kind of humor in it. It's not a horror game per se, but it's a dark game and has lots of creepiness and gloomy atmosphere or uncanny parts. But also has some humor in it, especially when it comes to the guards, who sometimes act like complete idiots. Okay, let's see. I'm gonna open the map, and also you see at the bottom there's this glowing thing that gets brighter when I get into the light, and it gets darker when I get into the shadows. That shows how visible I am. Okay, I'm gonna have a look at the map. This is where we started. That's the front entrance. We started right here, but it's heavily guarded. These were the three guys who had a conversation, the two of them, and the other one was just watching. So we can't take the front entrance. There's way too many guards. Also says, do not try frontal assault. In the cutscene, Garrett mentioned he got the sketches from Cutty. Cutty is his fence, the person where he, after a mission he brings his loot to Cutty and gets money for it. There's an arrow cache here where I can pick up arrows en route. I went this way, so that's right around the corner. Which means the well with one guard is also already close by if I just keep going, and that leads to a basement via a waterway, and that's our entrance into the Lord Bafford's Manor. This is an example of the steampunk fantasy kind of stuff I meant, because in the Middle Ages they certainly didn't have lanterns like this. Oh, there's a patrol. Now this is how you use the blackjack. You can use it to knock out enemies, but they have to... what's important is that they haven't seen you yet, and you have to use it from the back. You can also use it from the front, but usually then they see you before you hit them. You have a few like milliseconds where you can actually also hit them from the front and knock them out before they get really... before it doesn't work anymore, but usually you should do it from the back. And there's the guy, but approaching him from here is kind of not such a good idea, because he's looking this way. So we're gonna have a look around, and look at that, there's a hatch, which leads to a little sewer part. I like to close things behind me, it's not really necessary, but I like to do it for immersion, kind of like trying not to leave too many traces. Wait a second, which way? I think I go this way. Yeah, there's a gate, but it's locked, but look at this. There's a switch. And now we are behind the guy. Trying not to make too much noise. I could actually just take it without knocking him out.
Could you possibly be any more helpful?
So he didn't even notice us. That's cool. And in we go. First objective is complete. We snuck into the manor. Oh, gotta swim the other way. And down here, there's a little secret, if you want to call it that. It's a hidden cave with my favorite animals. Nice little spiders. I'm just gonna run through it and back.
Since I'm in here, I might as well pick up something for myself.
There is a bug in this version. I still have to find out how to get rid of that. You see, I opened the treasure chest, and now it says I got a key. But the key is what I picked up earlier. In the treasure chest, there was this, on the bottom right, this ring. Usually it should have displayed that, but for some reason it doesn't display what I pick up, but what I picked up before that. I don't know why. I gotta look it up on the internet.
Inside at last.
Let's see if there's a fix for that. But the thief community is very active. I might find something.
Sir could really beef up security, so.
What do you mean? What's wrong with us?
Well, we're fine. But I've been thinking we should watch the outsides more.
That's stupid. People to worry about there on the inside.
No, then you catch them before they get inside, you taffer.
Oh!
Huh. Okay. That should be fine. As you can see, if I walk by, I can totally see that somebody's in there. So, some people like to complain, oh, that's completely unrealistic. Why is it completely dark in there when you can actually perfectly see that somebody's in there? But the way I picture this in my mind is what we see as the person controlling Garrett is what Garrett sees, and maybe Garrett has much more trained eyes, and maybe all the other guards, when they walk past this room, would just see blackness. If you know what I mean. And I don't think that's that far-fetched. Like, if this was a real life place, then maybe some light from the torch would bounce off the wall and shine in there, but most of this room would be very dark, I think. Especially here, this would be really, really dark, apart from maybe a little bit of light from here. And anyway, I mean, it's a game and you're supposed to imagine, you're supposed to make your imagination work out a lot as well. So, I think this is fine. It's not supposed to be super realistic anyway. It's supposed to be fun, most of all. Nobody here. See, again, it doesn't display what I picked up. Usually it would display that on the bottom right. I'm going to scroll through it. Probably this. I think I had 2 flash bombs. You can use them to blind enemies for a few seconds. Now it's time to leave the basement and go into the manor itself. What do we have here? Nice, some money. What was it? A stack of coins. I think this one just has a vase in it, which is not valuable, so that's kind of mean. Now I'm carrying it and I have to get rid of it somehow, so I just put it here. Don't throw it, because that's loud. Let's see. I think these are like the servant quarters. You can see servants sleeping or still being awake. I don't think there's anything interesting in there. I could knock all of them out if I wanted to, but don't really have to. I'm gonna take this door, which leads to the kitchen. Bam. Gonna hide his body. Yes, you can throw him into the fire, but that will kill him. And in a very mean way, by the way. He will like start saying until he's dead. It will slowly kill him, burn him, so not nice, not cool. What do we have here? Cedric, please speak to cook about last night's dinner. While technically the menu conformed to my instructions, I suspect that the lamb was somewhat older than this spring's, and I am in no way fooled by his practice of warming the salad to disguise wilting. If Cook is incapable of finding adequate ingredients, he can be replaced. And if he offers those same excuses about the stone market shortages, please remind him that the grocery budget is a good 50% above last year's figures, and even he should be able to procure adequate victuals at those prices. Lord Bafford. There's something. You have valuables like that, and things that are just not really valuable. At first, it might be hard to tell which is which, although usually valuables are golden in a way. Yeah, but after a time, sometimes you get used to it. Let's see, where are we now? I think those were the servant quarters. We're on the first floor, not in the basement anymore. We came from the basement to the first floor. Now we moved on to this part, and we want to get to the second floor. which has the throne room and the scepters, but we need to get to these stairs. So I'm already proceeding into the correct way, and I think I still know where to go. Luckily, these rooms are kind of empty. But there's somebody here. Really like this mechanic where you can peek around the corners. I think many games do that nowadays, but back then this was the first game where I experienced it. And this is another nice example of the atmosphere that I like in this game. This kind of dark, cold castle room with torches and shadows. I guess the right word for this kind of atmosphere, maybe it's Gothic. I don't know, I'm not sure. Somebody tell me if you know. But it's something where Edgar Allan Poe would probably feel at home as well. These dark, gloomy castle-like places. Here we have a pool under the night sky. That's pretty cool as well. And I think this is actually... we can use this as an exit later. Yeah. Gotta remember that. What do we have here? Ooh. I'll take that. Thank you. I think someone is coming. I should hide. Shit, I made some noise. This floor is pretty loud. I'm gonna go quickly before he comes. What's up here? There was some money again? Oh, a bottle of wine. Anything over here? Ooh. This floor is very loud. You have to walk slowly. Wooden floor is fine. You can be very quiet on wooden floor. Listen to that. Pooh. I know I can't shut the fuck up about it, but this is another great example of what I like so much about this game's atmosphere. Crickets, wind noises, night sky, and then this creepy music on top of it. I like that. As you can see, you can slash banners, and I'm actually doing that because I think one of these banners will lead us right to the scepter. But you know what? I'm gonna do that later. Now I want to go back down and investigate the rooms there. I'm gonna get the scepter later. Oh shit. I'm not really dark. I'm not really hidden here. Okay. He gave up. There he is. I'm just gonna continue this way. Let's extinguish the torch so it's darker. If I go in there now, he's gonna see me. Let's see. If I stand. Oh, shit. This might be
Stop jumping at nothing.
a bad situation. No, I think I'm well hidden in this corner. He should not really see anything. Bam! Good. I think he's the only one patrolling here. Usually I would hide him, but as far as I know, he's the only one patrolling here. Look at this room. You know, sometimes with rooms like this, I just like to imagine, as hard as I can, what it would feel like if I was in this room in real life right now. If I was maybe sitting on this chair, looking around this room, looking at the fire, at the pictures, hearing the sounds of guards walking outside. Just immerse myself in the atmosphere. And yes, this guy has what looks like a religious robe and a hammer. Garrett also, young Garrett in the first cutscene and the cutscene before the tutorial mentioned something like, please don't tell the hammers. You will learn about the hammers eventually. But I think this very atmospheric room here is actually a good place to take a break. And I hope that, for what it's worth, you could already maybe tell how atmospheric this game is and how I cannot shut the fuck up about it. I will stop talking about it all the time, but I just wanted to emphasize that. And I mean, I hope you have noticed yourself that this game has a lot of atmosphere with really nice sound design. The music, these sounds that we hear right now have such a nice eerie creepiness to them that perfectly fits the setting. So next time we're gonna fulfill the rest of the objectives. We're gonna steal the jewel scepter after I'm done examining a few more rooms in order to grab more loot, and then we are going to return to the city streets. So hope to see you then. I hope you liked what you saw so far, and yeah, there's gonna be a lot more, and a lot more crazy things are going to be there as well. Anyway, I don't want to spoil anything, so I'll just shut up. Hope to see you again.